You're literally putting in all this effort on YouTube and you can't understand why you're still not monetized. Trust me, I've been there, so you are not alone. A bit of my background story when it comes to YouTube. I used to have a previous YouTube channel where the most watch hours I got was 2,000 watch hours. Even though I was being very consistent, I spent hours and hours after school just trying to edit videos, and I would stay up until like 2 a.m. just trying to post a video. On the other hand, I started this channel in August of 2023. I also was not consistent at one point in time. I didn't post for a few months, yet I was able to get monetized in little over a year. I feel like I figured out what actually worked for me, and I'm going to be sharing my exact strategy in terms of how you can also get monetized in 1 year. So we're not going to waste any time. We're going to jump into tip number 1. So tip number 1 is you want to start with a niche, but you don't want to niche down too much. This kind of sounds confusing, but I'm sure we have all heard many YouTubers, including maybe myself, say you need to niche down. And I will say that it is important to do so. I do believe that in order to find your target audience, you do need to choose specific content that is going to attract who you are speaking to. But I also do understand the other side where if you niche down too much, you're kind of putting yourself in a box. Maybe you might feel trapped or stuck. Later down the road, you might resent what you're actually creating. So for example, I started off talking about my Etsy shop. The reason why I started off with Etsy is because I did a lot of market research and I saw that there was a space for Etsy sellers to start their own YouTube channel. And I did find these Etsy sellers did have a significant amount of subscribers and views and engagement on their channel. So I was like, okay, Etsy is actually it's very specific and it doesn't seem as competitive compared to other niches like lifestyle, personal finance, and whatnot. I decided to just go into that because I did have my own Etsy shop and I did have experience as well. It just seemed to fit with what I was already doing. I also knew that I did not want to be known as someone who only talks about Etsy. I can't imagine, honestly, if I'm being so honest, I said that twice, but I cannot imagine myself talking about just Etsy for a whole year. Not that I don't like talking about Etsy. I mean, it has changed my life, not to be dramatic, but it really has. I am a multi-passionate person that has dabbled into other side hustles. I would not want to neglect those other side hustles that I've tried that would also be fun to talk about. To me, at the end of the day, it didn't really matter if I got less views on other videos. I just didn't want to box myself in. So I started talking about blogging because blogging has also played a pivotal role in terms of my income stream. So I asked myself, like, how can I combine Etsy and blogging? I started posting videos about side hustles and they also did pretty well too. That kind of confirmed in my mind that I can actually talk about other things. My niche no longer was just about Etsy, but I was heading towards the direction of online side hustles as my niche. And ultimately, my target audience isn't just Etsy sellers. My target audience is for anyone who wants to make additional income, such as starting an online side hustle or making another income stream. That is what I mean by having a niche, has your target audience in mind, but also not niching down too much to the point where you just feel stuck. And ultimately, it comes down to, are you able to see yourself creating this type of content for the next year? If you can't even picture yourself talking about the specific topic for a year, then chances are you might need to look into whether or not the niche that you're in is sustainable, and maybe you have to expand your niche or change it up. And another tip that I have is I would encourage you to be authentic as possible, meaning you want to showcase your personality, like who you are behind the camera. And I feel like for this niche that I am in, talking about side hustles, it's a little bit harder because a lot of the content that I give is more informational. Sometimes I do feel like I am a robot. I want you guys to just try to be yourself, try to be more comfortable being in front of the camera. Stop putting this pressure on yourself to follow your script and like to the T, allow yourself to let loose a little bit and let your personality shine through your videos, because that is going to allow people to connect more with you, not just as a YouTuber, but as a person. Okay, so we're going to move on on to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is to focus less on virality and focus on content that will keep people watching. You essentially want to build a library of binge watching content that people will want to keep watching. I guess the best way to do this, and this is very popular right now, are signature series. I've been seeing this all over Instagram. I feel like signature series has become a huge way to bring people back to your channel. You know, whether that is moving into my New York apartment series or living alone diaries. That was actually huge during the pandemic. And I guess these don't have to be like significant changes in your life. And you can make this, you know, personable to you, but also you want to find a way to make it engaging for your viewer. You always want to keep your viewer in mind, especially when you're starting off. You really do want to focus on your audience. And the best way to do that is to create valuable, high quality content. You can't really rely on viral videos to build community. And if you want to focus on building loyal subscribers or a loyal community, you want to post videos that are going to keep bringing people back to your channel. And that's why I previously mentioned that you should incorporate your personality, because at the end of the day, people are subscribing because they want to know more about your content and who you are behind the channel. So tip number 3 is to get clear on your why. You want to ask yourself, like, why are you doing YouTube? I'm not trying to get too deep or philosophical here. This is just for you to think about. You want to think about, like, what is your vision for yourself and how are you going to get there? So for example, your vision for yourself is to become a stay-at-home mom. Maybe one way to do that and how you might do that is to have this additional source of income to support your family. And that could look like becoming a part-time content creator on YouTube. I don't know, I'm just throwing ideas out there. Or maybe you like have a vision for yourself to travel full-time one day. And that could just be a reason why you want to have a YouTube channel. You might not necessarily know exactly who you're going to help just yet, because maybe you don't even know what you want to post about. Maybe you don't exactly know who your target audience is. Maybe you've chosen a niche, but you're still not sure what exactly your content's gonna look like down the line. And that is okay. Like, I think just starting with what is your vision for yourself is going to help you to have more clarity and have more discipline and motivation to keep going with your YouTube channel. I would say choose your personal why and just start from there. Okay, so my last tip is to plan content ahead. Have you ever just sat down to film and you have no idea what to post? Or maybe you're literally scramming to just have a video up, even though the content honestly kind of sucks. Like, you know it deep down, you're like, oh my gosh, I just need to post something. I've been there. I am still trying to learn from this, if I'm being completely honest. I have posted videos that I'm not necessarily proud of, and you can tell, like, I just did not try as much as my other videos. And so, like, having a content calendar is so essential. I use Notion to plan my content. And I use it for basically all my other side hustles, like blogging, not for Etsy, but YouTube and even for Instagram now. And I try to set this goal where I'm always one video ahead, because as someone who works, you know, full time, I really don't have time to film after a work day. I might be hanging out with a friend, I might be too tired, or the sun literally it's so dark right now even. So on the weekends, I really try to utilize my time to script and try to batch film, which honestly isn't ideal because I get so tired by the end of the day, but it is what it is. And maybe that might look like filming a video after work hours or waking up extra early to script a video. That is why I would really recommend, if you can, planning 1 month ahead when it comes to content. This is going to save you so much time. It's going to save you so much stress and headaches. Editing takes a long time too, so you do have to account for that as well. I do realize the more you plan ahead, the easier it is to become consistent, and consistency is what is going to drive people back to your channel. Not necessarily everyone, but the ones who do decide to stick around and subscribe to your channel, they are looking forward to your content. And how you build a loyal community is you show up, or try to show up every week, right? I'm not perfect at this, but I do believe that what has helped me so far to be pretty consistent over the past year, and that has helped me to get monetized, is by being consistent almost every week, week. When I get comments of like, oh yeah, like I look forward to your videos every week or something like that, that shows me that it's important to just show up. So these were my strategy tips in terms of how to get monetized in 1 year. Obviously, the timeline might vary for everyone. Maybe it might take someone less than a year or a little over a year, but these are the tips that have helped me to get monetized. I think especially not niching down as much helped me tremendously to not burn out, because once you get burned out, you just don't want to create anymore. And so many people have told me and commented they also struggle with niching down because they don't want to be stuck. And I'm telling you, you don't have to be stuck. You just have to find a way and find a niche that works with you, that works for you and not against you. If you are serious about getting monetized, stop chasing the fame, stop chasing virality, really focus on building a community that is loyal to you and that you genuinely want a connection with. We're gonna get a little bit real here. I wanna know, what is your biggest struggle with YouTube right now? I'm here to help you guys. Yeah, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, comment down below as well. And if you found this video helpful, go ahead and hit that like button. And I will talk to you guys very, very soon. Bye.